Ladies and gentlemen, there is something which I once told you on this platform, and allow me to repeat it once again. That is going to take a miracle for William Ruto to be re-elected in 2027. And miracles do happen in politics. You never know whether Raila Odinga is going to support William Ruto in 2027. If that were to happen, that would be a miracle. But in a free and fair contest, there is no way Kenyans will re-elect William Samoei Ruto. Because Kenya Kwanza policies are not working for Kenyans. And Kenyans are currently very bitter and angry with the government. And that's why we are witnessing heckling of the president and his allies across the country. Over the weekend, William Ruto was in Kericho. He was humiliated when his allies were heckled. William Ruto then went to Bomet. Again, his allies were heckled. I know most of you are assuming that it was only the governors who were heckled. The truth of the matter is that even the members of parliament were really heckled. I want you guys to watch this member of parliament being heckled during William Ruto's event in Bomet yesterday. So the biggest question is, why do you think Kenyans are heckling William Ruto and his allies? Of course, we've also witnessed William Ruto being heckled. William Ruto was heckled badly in Mombasa at some point. He was heckled in Dagoretti at some point. William Ruto's allies were heckled in Kiambu the other day. The other day you saw when Kimani Ichung'wah tried mentioning the name of Uhuru Kenyatta as an excuse for Kenya Kwanza failure. The residents there could not even allow him to finish. And that has been going on, and it was going to continue going on. So Kenya Kwanza government today decided that enough is enough. And then they've done two things. The first thing they've done is that they've banned heckling. So next time you go for a political rally, where you just go there and watch. Don't heckle. Even if they're telling things you don't like, don't. The second thing, they've also ordered for the arrest of everybody who was involved in the heckling in Kericho. If you heckled, if you funded, if you aided, you'll be arrested. And I don't know how they will be charged, but I don't want us to get into that. In this video, I want us to do a critical analysis why William Ruto and his government are banning heckling. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But before I dive in, I also want to make a special request to you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, for this video, I want you just to make sure you give thumbs up, because it's one of the ways you can support this channel. So just press that thumbs up, and of course, you can also drop your comment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to begin this video again by watching Professor Kithure Kindiki banning heckling.
We have noticed with concern an increasing tendency of intolerance among political leaders, and we are asking political leaders to conduct their politics within the law, and they must maintain the peace in their political meetings. No person is allowed to disrupt public meetings, to use guns, to mete out violence and harass members of the public. Politicians are allowed to differ on ideologies, programs, policies, and viewpoints, because our constitution allows multi-party democracy. However, no politician of whatever stature is allowed to use violence, guns, and other criminals to harass, intimidate, or incite the public against each other. And I have left very firm and clear directives on the Trans Nzoia County Security Committee to be firm, ruthless, and merciless on all people who sponsor, finance, encourage, support, aid, and abet goons and political thugs who go to disrupt meetings organized by people of a different viewpoint, and it doesn't matter whether the organizers and sponsors are pro or anti-government. We will crush them equally, and nobody is above the law. I repeat, for the avoidance of doubts, nobody is above the law, and all politicians must do their politics within the law. They are free to disagree with each other. They are free to have a different opinion, but they are not free to use criminals to harass, incite, intimidate, or disrupt public meetings. And this hooliganism and disruption has taken a life of itself, not just here in Trans Nzoia. You saw last week the kind of activities that were taking place in presidential meetings in Kericho and Bomet. We made it clear that that will not be countenanced. So we are not, as we are not part of the political discussions, our work is to secure the nation and make sure that everybody follows the law, and people who transact their political businesses, economic businesses, do so peacefully.
So the biggest question is, why do you think the government has banned heckling during William Ruto's events? For us to understand that, let us just go back a bit. On Saturday, I did a video on this platform after the Kericho heckling. And in that video, I offered my unsolicited advice to William Samoei Arap Ruto and Kenya Kwanza government. I actually wondered why and how they could allow the heckling to continue in presidential events, because presidential events are not ordinary events. And I remember advising them that, number one, for them to stop this heckling, they needed, number one, to make the events appear presidential. Today in this Republic of Kenya, William Ruto is the president, but his events don't look like presidential events. They're just like the normal political rallies. He goes to a place, gives everybody a microphone to speak, they talk whatever they want, they abuse whoever they want. Not presidential. So William Ruto must ensure that his events are presidential. Presidential events are really different. The list of speakers, what they are going to talk about, must always be on the table. Purely presidential. Number two, William Ruto needs to deliver to Kenyans. The only sure way of averting heckling is to deliver. And you don't have to go on top of a vehicle to announce to the country what you've done. The country or Kenyans will be able to see whatever you are doing. You don't need to stand on top of a vehicle to tell them. Kibaki never did that, and they know Kibaki performed. So William Ruto government must just deliver. Like, for example, today I was in supermarket and I noted that the price of cooking oil has come down. Although it was on offer at Tenderana, it was on offer. It used to be around 1,800. Right now, I think it's the price was around 1,300, a 500 difference. Even if it's not on offer, I'm sure it will be katikati there. Kenyans will just notice. You go to buy onga, you notice it has come down. So Kenyans will just notice. Create employment for them. They will just notice. Very few people will then go and heckle. And lastly, William Ruto must, the last advice I gave him, they must stop early campaigns. As long as William Ruto is campaigning, others will also be campaigning. And as long as it's campaign, the political environment will always remain charged. But why do you think they've decided to ban heckling? And how do you even ban heckling? Okay, you want to arrest people for heckling. If you take them to court, which law? Which law? And personally, I always advise Kenyans that if you don't want to listen to anybody, don't go to their event. Just stay at home. The best strategy. So in future, I'm seeing a situation where those who used to go to William Ruto's event and heckle will decide not to go. And therefore, William Ruto will start addressing empty stadium. But that's not the point. My point number one, why they want to ban this heckling, is that there was this narrative which they were advancing, that heckling is ODM, ni tabia ya ODM. They used to advance that. In fact, There's always been this narrative that ODM party is a violent party. But over time, even before the last election, it was clear that Kenya Kwanza were just trying to hide a lot of things. But now the heckling are happening in Kericho. And even William Ruto cannot stop them. They are happening in Kiambu. They are happening in Dagoretti. Kenya Kwanza stronghold. So Kenyans are wondering whether ODM is that strong to an extent that they can go to Kericho and lead in heckling. So by scaring people not to talk, they don't want this narrative to happen, especially in their strongholds. So that's number one. Number two, I've always told you that politics is a perceptional game. It's about perception. William Ruto going to a place, his allies are heckled. William Ruto himself goes to Mombasa, he's heckled. His allies goes to someone like Malala, goes to Kakamega for some funeral, attended by other ODM leaders. He's heckled and chased away. The perception which is being created is that Kenya Kwanza is losing the ground. That is something that William Ruto does not want to hear. So the solution, stop it. Arrest anybody who tries to heckle. Number three, they want to protect the image of the presidency. And I think William Ruto brought this to himself. The moment William Ruto took over the presidency of the Republic of Kenya, there are a lot of things he needed to have forgotten about. If you listen to Rigathi Gachagwa's talk, you'll bow your head in shame, wondering whether this guy is really the deputy president. You'll bow your head in shame. What about William Ruto? They've not really protected the presidency, because the presidency of the Republic of Kenya is supposed to be an institution. It's supposed to be the symbol of national unity. A good case is when William Ruto was in Homa Bay the other day. How he was received, how he spoke, how he left, and the audience. But that cannot happen in their strongholds. You even wonder. So I think William Ruto must have been informed that they were giving the presidency a bad image. I pointed out, using a video which I shared on this platform, that the video which was circulating had State House logo, which means the heckling happened when they were live on Facebook, official State House Facebook page. Very sad. So they want now to try and protect the image. And lastly, is to avert any further heckling. Because normally there's the spiral effect. And I remember telling you, it was just a matter of time before this heckling were going to start happening in strongholds. And they're already happening. And just wait. If they want to avert it, William Ruto will be targeted, especially in his stronghold. The resident will say, no boss, hapo unadanganya, pana. So I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.